Venus enters Cancer on Wednesday, July 30th, and this year her stay in the sign of the Crab is even sweeter than usual because of Jupiter also being there. Just like rain nourishes the fertile soil, this transit has the promise of success, growth, and opportunity, especially with projects and people close to our hearts. Let's take a closer look and break it down for all 12 signs. My name is Anastasia. I'm a traditional Western astrologer. I do readings. I create content for you guys. If you enjoy my work, please show your support by leaving me a like or a comment, pressing the subscribe button and the notification bell. Watch more of my content, or you can also say thank you by buying me a tea, a coffee, a croissant, a pen, whatever your heart desires. Thank you so much for that. If you're seeking personal guidance, you have questions about your chart, you looked at it and it feels confusing to you, or you want to know about your relationship, you want to understand compatibility, even if you're looking at the future for transits coming up, book a reading on my website. The future, I have year ahead and solar return. Solar return is best done around your birthday. Book a reading on my website. If you feel ready to take your love for astrology to the next level and learn how to read charts yourself, you can register for my Natal Astrology Blueprint of the Soul course and become the student of astrology just like I am. I feel like no matter how much you know, you're still forever a student. Gotta be humble and aware that it's impossible to know everything. So join me and other like-minded people to discover the blueprint of your soul hidden in your chart so that you can live life full of awareness, happiness, and confidence. So all of that is on my website. I would also like to highlight my Lunar Jupiter candle. This is one of the newest editions. This one was created in late June, right after the new moon in Cancer. We had a new moon on June 25th, so this one was created on June 26th at sunrise with the moon in Cancer and Jupiter on the ascendant. So it has this kind of lovely, softening, lucky, supportive energy. Really great for manifestation, for any new moon rituals. It can boost your optimism and good fortune. And I also have this lovely blue Jupiter Kazemi candle, and together they look like I have magical powers. Jupiter Kazemi was created on June 24th, which is a once in 12 years exalted Jupiter Kazemi, and it captures the luckiest transit of the year. So both of these could be really great and work magically with Venus in Cancer. So today we're talking about Venus in Cancer. We're gonna break it down a little bit in generally. I'll give you a couple of dates to watch for, and then we'll talk about the 12 rising signs in terms of what blessings you can expect. Venus is the planet connected to love, beauty, and pleasure. It is the planet that is connected to enjoying life. It is considered to be the lesser benefic, as in it brings good experiences, but it's usually something like more tangible, maybe smaller, like having a really great day, getting compliments, eating delicious food, smelling the flower, right? Like Venus is about these lived-in pleasures of life. And when Venus is in a sign, any sign other than Taurus and Libra, which are considered her signs of rulership, she has to behave in accordance to the nature of the sign. Think of it as Venus, Aphrodite, staying in the house of Cancer, and Cancer is ruled by the moon. And so when Venus is in the house of the moon, the goddess of love becomes more lunar, becomes more maternal, right? Like usually Venus and the moon represent two sides of the feminine energy, right? With the moon being maternal and Venus being more like out there, sexual, romantic, sort of adult woman energy potentially. So when Venus is in the domain of the moon, she begins to feel more aligned with the lunar topics, right? She's more interested in motherhood, in children, in creating a comfortable home and cooking a delicious meal. You may notice that you pick up cooking, or you decide to go visit your nieces and nephews. You're maybe more focused on nurturing people. you may become more emotional, right? Moon is connected to our feelings. They're tides, ups and downs. So you're more likely to be more moody. Your romantic nature, you begin to sort of crave companionship that is stable, that is loyal. And with Jupiter there, chances are you can manifest the romance that you desire, because Jupiter is the greater benefic, right? And Venus will conjoin Jupiter on August 12th. And if Venus is like, I want this person, Jupiter is like, of course, dear, you can have whatever you want. So there's this really strong manifestation energy. And if Venus is in Cancer, if you were born with Venus in Cancer, happy Venus return. My boyfriend has it, and one of my closest friends has Venus in Cancer, so I'm very fond of this placement. You may notice like a stronger pull to spend time with family. Even your art might become more like nostalgic, where you're looking back at something that evokes the sense of childhood. You know, I had yesterday these two students, journalist students, came up to me in the park, in Central Park in New York City, and they were like, can you like help us practice interviews? And the main question they were asking is like, what is your happiest childhood memory? And I was like, how Jupiter in Cancer is this, right? To be like, what is your happiest, like, well, it was actually summer memory, but I think in my head it was like, oh, summer childhood. Summer is a little less Jupiterian, but childhood definitely is very Jupiterian. So when Venus enters Cancer, it directs you towards that like childhood, family, tenderness, love, and things like that. We may notice that we're also benefiting through our family at this point, and that could be your biological family, or it could be your chosen family, where people you consider family are extra generous with you, supportive, giving you opportunities, giving you gifts, and things like that. Your memory's stronger, right? It can actually boost your memory, where things come back to you, and a lot of the memory can be, again, not like necessarily remembering every single detail, but like remembering the smells, the sensations, and things like that. And of course, Venus may also struggle with lunar issues such as being moody, clingy, needy, codependent, indirect with the expression of frustration, maybe living in the past, and sort of being a little bit insecure. So watch out for that. As well as childhood patterns may reappear. Don't we all love to see our childhood patterns make an appearance? So some dates to note right away: when Venus enters Cancer, she's gonna make a couple of more complicated aspects, similarly to Jupiter in June, in like mid-June. On August 1st, Venus will square Saturn and Neptune. That may immediately make Venus deal with some kind of rejection, frustration. It's like first you have to end something, right? And it may feel confusing, it may feel uncertain, may feel difficult. This could show up in your professional life, maybe as you're getting out of a certain job and things don't end well, and you were hoping that you're going to go on and work with this person again on the next project. Let's say you work in the movies, but you end things and it's sort of confusing and doesn't look like it's going to happen. And then on August 12th, when Venus conjoins Jupiter, there is a suggestion that things do work out and there's actually something better waiting for you right around the corner. So a rough entry between July 30th, August 4th, potentially. We're dealing with a bit of like challenging energy. And then after August 12th, things will improve. Even I would say after August 5th, because Venus conjoins Jupiter on the 12th, but it's active 3 days before, 3 days after. If you're seeking more, if you want personal advice, if you want me to look at your chart and you have questions about it, book a reading on my website. You can also register for my natal astrology course. It begins in September, and in 3 short months we will learn astrology, you will read charts, you will get more confident and more self-aware, and that is the skill nobody can take away from you. So let's take a look at the 12 signs. If you are an Aries rising, Venus is entering Cancer, your 4th house. Again, the beginning is a bit difficult because of that square to Saturn and Neptune. So maybe you're desiring new living situation, new home, you're thinking of starting a family, you're seeking for the sense of community, seeking a sense of community. But there's that square to Saturn and Neptune. And so immediately there's some kind of frustration right away. But then later, only like a few days later, after August 5th, Venus starts to move towards Jupiter, and she finally blooms and gives you more kind of positivity. And when she's in your 4th house between July 30th and August 25th, she can definitely bring more opportunities to improve your living situation. So whether, you're building an extension to your home, or you're changing some furniture, you're getting some gifts from people, maybe you're even like buying property that you've dreamt about, good fortune can come through family. Your family offers you some kind of a gift, you receive like a bonus, an inheritance you didn't expect. Romantically, Venus does rule your 7th house of relationships, meeting someone in the lobby of your building, meeting someone at a house party of your friend, or meeting someone in your hometown if you're traveling home. That's another manifestation of this, like going home, going to see family and feeling sort of nurtured and loved and supported. All of that is lovely. Please share if you already see any of that, if you're planning to do things like that in August. I would love to know. And if you're looking for more, book a reading on my website, register for my natal astrology course, and pick up even more Cancerian goodness by getting this Moon in Cancer, Jupiter in Cancer, Lunar Jupiter candle. If you are a Taurus rising, Venus is entering your 3rd house, your house of communication, siblings, neighbors, community, skills, hobbies, business, short trips. And at first, your desire to kind of be out and about and enjoy your life and maybe even start new projects may get dampened by the square to Saturn and Neptune, because immediately Venus comes here and she's like, yay! And then Saturn and Neptune is like, nay, not yet, hold on. So there might be some maybe difficult conversations, maybe some obstacles you'll have to overcome. But then after approximately 5th of the month of August, she's free. And until August 25th, she can bless you with charming speech, opportunities to write, especially on August 12th when she conjoins Jupiter. That's like the luckiest, beautiful day. But it's lovely for writing. It's lovely for being a peacemaker. Other people may come to you. You're maybe put in a position of like negotiating and problem solving, especially when it comes to your siblings, right? And extended family. You may find yourself being like this person that calms everyone down. Siblings, neighbors can also even bring you opportunities. You may enjoy going on short trips, even traveling to see a sibling, right? Or to see your baby nephew, baby niece, things like that are likely. Positive developments in your neighborhood, maybe meeting someone cute right in your building, right? Moving your business to the next level, learning something that is fun but also creative and beautiful. I think this could be a really great transit, both for dating and like it can boost your imagination, improve your business, and as long as you're doing things that are, again, sort of coming from the heart, you will see them growing and blossoming. And please share if you already know what it is you want to spend this Venus goodness on. If you're looking for more, book a reading on my website, register for my natal astrology course. It begins in September and it's going to be really important and life-changing. I also highly recommend my Lunar Jupiter or Jupiter Kazemi candle. Both of these capture Jupiter in the sign of its exaltation and were created in late June. Could be very lucky, very optimism-inducing, good for manifestation and attracting good fortune. If you are a Gemini rising, Venus is entering your 2nd house of money and values. So generally this bodes well for your wallet. However, we have to consider that Venus immediately squares Saturn and Neptune in your 11th house. So there might be some kind of sense of like Venus is inspiring you to spend money, or it's inspiring some kind of reward coming your way, but you have to pay taxes on it, right? There is like a square to Saturn, or you thought you're getting a certain amount, but you have to share it with your brother. Or there is some kind of, there's like some kind of difficulty, maybe even some conflict with a friend, some kind of issue involving like how to move forward, connected to that Saturn and Neptune, maybe a little bit of confusion. But then on August 12th, Venus conjoins Jupiter, and she, like, the only two aspects basically she makes is that square to planets in Aries and then a conjunction to Jupiter, so she's free to do good things, right? So around the 12th of the month, when Venus conjoins Jupiter, that might be the time when you get a really really big bonus, a reward, return on investment, an inheritance, whatever it is you are waiting for, or even something that you're not expecting. There may be some kind of positive boost. It could be coming from family, because Cancer, having your second house be Cancer, and that being the house of what you value, you already likely value family, and family is very much valuing you this time around, this year with Jupiter in Cancer. There may also be opportunities to invest into something. Again, maybe it's like family related, real estate related, gardening, food, things like that, or even invest in your growth. And whatever you're buying at this time, if it's like an art piece, or even if it's like a vintage piece of clothing, it is only going to increase in value. So around August 12th, if you wanted to buy something, that's like a really, really great time. So enjoy. Please share if you're already planning something for this period between July 30th and August 25th. And for more guidance, book a reading on my website, register for my natal astrology course. It begins in September, and in 3 months you will learn how to read natal charts and how to live life with more self-awareness, more empowerment, and more confidence. I also highly recommend 2 of my newest candles, Jupiter Cazimi and Lunar Jupiter. Jupiter Cazimi was captured on June 24th, and it's the luckiest day in every 12 years. The exalted Jupiter Cazimi, it's a very rare transit we get. And Lunar Jupiter is only 2 days after that, capturing still the energy of the lucky Jupiter, but it has the moon in Cancer too. So it's really good. Both of these are really good for manifesting, but Lunar Jupiter potentially brings more energy of like women, fertility, connection with family and things like that, versus Jupiter Cazimi is very lucky. More about good luck. If you are a Cancer rising, Venus is entering your first house. Venus in the first is lovely. It makes you more charming, more beautiful, more attractive. It's easier to manifest whatever you desire. There may be more opportunities to be visible, to shine. It starts off a bit rough because on August 1st, Venus squares Saturn and Neptune in your 10th house of career. So there may be some professional matters, some difficult authority figures, maybe even a sense that something that you're trying to accomplish is at odds with what people are expecting of you. So the beginning of this transit has that kind of stifling energy, but then after we get past like August 5th, we start to get closer to the Venus-Jupiter conjunction, and that is magical and very opportune and can offer you a chance to start new projects, to perhaps build a new community, right? To get support, to initiate new things. Whatever you desire is more likely to happen. However, you do have to keep in mind that Saturn Neptune in the 10th will demand some kind of sacrificial payment, right? Some kind of compromise will need to be made. Maybe you're working on a new project, but you have to be patient. Highly recommend my Jupiter Cazimi candle. This one captures the luckiest day this year, and the only one in 12 years exalted Jupiter Cazimi. So really great for you because it's Jupiter in Cancer. Lunar Jupiter is maybe even better for Cancer risings because it's Cancer moon as well, and it's the new moon energy, so it could be great for manifesting, improving your fertility, bringing abundance in your life. I like both of these, so it's a personal preference. They're like slightly different. pick it up on my website. On there, you can also register for my natal astrology course, which begins in September, and book a reading. If you are a Leo rising, Venus is entering your 12th house, and she urges you to travel, to go on spiritual trips, to connect with your imagination, to write, to make art, to date foreign people, to date spiritual people. However, at first, the first 5 or so days of this transit, Venus is in a square to Saturn and Neptune in your 9th house. So you may be dealing with some legal issues. Let's say you want to travel, but your visa doesn't get approved, or you wanted to apply for something, but you have to jump through a lot of hoops and it's irritating. Or there is some, you were going to go to study abroad, but your dean needs to approve documents. So there might be some type of, like, at first, slow down. Maybe you need to make compromises. You need to make sacrifices. That's what Saturn will require you to proceed past the Saturnian border and boundary. But then on August 12th, Venus conjoins Jupiter, which is very lucky, very abundant, very hopeful and optimistic. And so that can boost your imagination, that could bring new romance. Be, however, aware of the fact that Venus in the 12th can choose people that are complicated, and that could be good if the person is spiritual and mature and has been through a lot and just has a complicated history. But it could be bad if the person is just like unavailable, immature, hurt you in the past, non-committal. So be kind of careful with that and try to choose spirituality, creativity, imagination. It is a great transit for sure to travel and to go on spiritual journeys. Let me know if you're planning any, and if you're looking for more guidance, book a reading on my website, register for my natal astrology course. It begins in September, and pick up one of my Jupiterian candles, Jupiter Cazimi or Lunar Jupiter. Both are very lucky, opportune, and inspired. And Jupiter Cazimi is something that we only get once every 12 years, this specific one, the exalted Jupiter Cazimi, so highly unique. If you are Virgo rising, Venus is entering your 11th house. This is very nice. This is your social circle. Expect more social opportunities. Maybe you're going to parties. Maybe people are throwing you a party. Maybe you're networking. Maybe you're speaking at conferences. Maybe you're starting a new job that puts you in front of more people. There's just a sense of like there's more to do, more places to go, more people to see. However, at first, the first few days of this transit, Venus will be squaring Saturn and Neptune in your 8th house of debts, loans, taxes, inheritance, mortgage, all kind of karmic weights that are dragging you down. So there's a suggestion here that even though you're excited about new projects and new opportunities, there is some kind of debts you're still working on paying, or some type of unfairness or something, that you need to deal with Saturn and Neptune in the 8th house. So move slowly, negotiate things, compromise. You may have to make some sacrifices. You may have to slow down on the progress in the social area to take care of something else. But later in the month, on August 12th specifically, we have this beautiful Venus-Jupiter conjunction, and that is magical for connecting with people, feeling supported. Jupiter rules your house of relationships and partnerships, so maybe you're negotiating new agreements, maybe you're publishing your work, maybe you're finding community. Let's not forget that Mercury is retrograde until August 11th, so Mercury goes direct on the 11th, and then Jupiter goes, and Venus conjoins Jupiter on the 12th. So it's like double opportunity on August 12th. So if you needed some good date to look forward to, definitely a good time. If you want to boost your optimism and good luck, Jupiter Cazimi. This is the exalted Jupiter conjunct the Sun. We only get this once every 12 years. It's blue, it smells like ocean breeze, and this one was created at sunrise by yours truly, both of them. And this is lunar Jupiter. It captures the moon and Jupiter and has that new moon in Cancer energy. So especially if late June was really good for you, those two could be magical. You can pick them up on my website. You can also register for my natal astrology course to come study with me or book a personal reading. For my lovely Libra risings, Venus is entering your 10th house of career, status, and reputation. And of course, she's gonna improve your professional life. She's gonna offer you opportunities to network and connect with people. She's gonna encourage you to drink more water, most likely. Water is important. I'm not so good at drinking water. Let me know if you are. But she's gonna, she's gonna smooth out your relationships with authority figures. She'll make you more charming in public, may bring you some gifts, opportunities for a raise, a promotion, a new project. But her entrance into Cancer is tricky because similarly to what Jupiter undergone in mid-June, Venus also squares Saturn and Neptune in your 7th house of relationships and partnerships. And this can show up as you have a new project, but the partner, your business partner, is being unreliable. Or they're going through something and they're not delivering what you're expecting of them. Or it's your romantic relationship. Maybe it's an actual partner that's going through a difficult time. Maybe it's a lack of a romantic relationship that is making you feel really sad, right? It doesn't have to be like a literal one person against the other. It could be, but it could also be about like maybe work is going great, but romantically you wish there was something else happening. So this will encourage you to balance the two portions of your chart, and things will get better later in the month as Venus conjoins Jupiter on August 12th. That could be like a really magical, opportune time for professional action, for any kind of progress, publishing your work, releasing anything, and making things official. So that looks great. If you need help, Lunar Jupiter is really great. This captures the new moon in Cancer energy. The moon is waxing, gaining light. Jupiter is at the ascendant. I created these at sunrise, and they capture the energy of the lucky Jupiter and the new moon in Cancer. So pick it up on my website, book a reading on there if you're seeking more, and join my natal astrology course. It begins in September and it's going to be really life-changing. Astrology was like that for me, and I'm sure it can offer a lot of insight and can change your life too. If you are the lovely Scorpio rising, Venus is entering your 9th house, encouraging you to travel, to learn, to expand your circle with more diverse, educated, foreign people, build a sense of community in a foreign land if that's where you find yourself. Grow, right? Grow through picking up a new skill, a new language, reading a book about philosophy. It's all about that. There is a bit of a bumpy entrance to this transit because Venus will be squaring Saturn and Neptune right away on August 1st, and Saturn and Neptune are in your 6th house. So maybe your health needs attention. Maybe you feel excited about the new opportunities, but you're just so tired and so drained. So maybe it's about taking things slow. There may be a lot of work that you're dealing with that's also draining you. Or a lot of obligations, groceries, laundry, things around the house that just feel heavy. So of course, Saturn will ask you to compromise, to make some sacrifices before you move forward, but move forward you will. On August 12th, Venus conjoins Jupiter, and this is the most magical day in August, in my opinion. And that could be great for going on adventure, even just going on, like a park that you haven't been to before, or a double date with a couple that you met while traveling and turned out they live in the same city. Taking a class where you're cooking together, or learning a different language, starting school, becoming a teacher, and even for some of you, I wonder if there is like an opportunity to connect with the religion on some level. But maybe it's about becoming an educator in your family, becoming that like religious or philosophical, that sort of knowledgeable person in the family. For more guidance, book a reading on my website and register for my natal astrology course to study astrology, to learn how to read natal charts and take your love to the next level. I also highly recommend this beautiful Jupiter Kazemi candle as the candle of good luck. If you are a Sagittarius rising, Venus is entering your 8th house. So she is here with Jupiter, encouraging you to connect really deeply and intimately, to join your resources in a professional partnership, or to join someone in a romantic partnership. Maybe it's your spouse, maybe it's in your relationship, maybe you're taking some kind of risks and you're getting closer with people. However, Venus will be squaring Saturn at first, the first 5 days of this transit, between July 30th and August 4th approximately. And Saturn and Neptune are in your 5th house of romance, pleasure, parenthood, children. And there may be some kind of compromises involving that you have to make in order to take a leap, right? Like maybe you're sacrificing a certain belief, or you're sacrificing your need to be a parent, to be with someone. That sounds like a bit of an unfair deal. So don't agree to things that are deeply crucial and important to you. But there may be, even let's say there is a delay, right? It's not like, oh, we can't have kids if you really want to have kids. Maybe it's like, okay, first we need to pay off this debt and then we get to have kids, right? So there might be some kind of like compromise, maybe even some romantic compromise, like you're getting ready to move in with your significant other, but they still have, I don't know, they still have to figure out their divorce or something, so things get delayed. Later on August 12th, Venus conjoins Jupiter, and this is a very softening, soothing. You feel like there was a reason for these compromises. You may be getting more goodness out of Venus at this point. So that could bring you a financial gift at that point, you know, some kind of student loan forgiveness, or you're able to pay off your mortgage, or you're getting a big bonus or something like that. Digging deeply into things, doing research could be encouraged here. You may also find a lot of support in spirituality, astrology. In fact, if you're looking to learn astrology, join my course. It begins in September. You can register on my website. You can also book a reading on there and pick up one of my latest Jupiter Cazimi or Lunar Jupiter candles. Both of those capture the lucky Jupiter energy and smell delicious. If you are a Capricorn rising, Venus is entering your 7th house, the domain of relationships, and she softens and encourages romance and connection in your life. So this can attract someone new. This can inspire a new magical love in your life, or it can improve the existing relationships, all kinds of relationships, negotiations with your landlord, signing contracts, business agreements, partnerships that are connected to your creative self-expression. All of that is great. There is a read the fine print, because Venus will square Saturn and Neptune right away between July 30th and August 4th. And Saturn and Neptune are in your 4th house. They are in your 4th house of home, family, living situation. And so maybe you're like ready to date, but you need to help take your father to like, I don't know, they're getting a surgery, and so you have to postpone your date, right? Or you're dealing with some kind of like, I don't know, they're doing work in your house, and again, that sort of slows things down for you. Saturn will ask you to compromise. Later on August 12th, when Venus conjoins Jupiter, things start to look up and start to feel significantly better. So if at first you don't succeed, don't give up, just be ready for compromises. Venus in the 7th in general can attract a really charming, beautiful, supportive, loyal, and loving partner, and improve existing relationships. If you need help with this transit, highly recommend my lunar candles, Almond Moon, Moon in Cancer 3, or the new edition of the Jupiter Cazimi Lunar Jupiter Creations. Pick them up on my website. You can also book a personal reading or register for my natal astrology course on there. For the lovely Aquarius rising, Venus is entering your 6th house, making your work life better. There is more joy in professional relationships. You're maybe even dating someone at work. You're going out more with colleagues. You're having a good time. However, at first, Venus will be squaring Saturn and Neptune in your 3rd house. And so maybe this desire to connect and get along with your coworkers initially, maybe initially there's some kind of misunderstanding or a sense of like doing too much, some kind of frustration. So compromises will need to be made. Perhaps you need to rethink your schedule. Perhaps you need to, let go of some professional like commitments and things like that, or like rethink what's worth your time. Even discuss some difficult things, right? Like Saturn and Neptune are in the 3rd, Venus in the 6th. She's really urging you to take pleasure in your everyday life and to have a good time when you're handling your duties. And Saturn and Neptune in the 3rd are saying like, yeah, but there's so much to do. So talk about it, figure things out, discuss things. And then on August 12th, Venus will conjoin Jupiter, and she will be more free to do her own thing, not just free to do her own thing, but like empowered. And so the question becomes not just about handling your workload, but doing work that is healing, supportive of other people. You may be discovering new passions. You may be investing in already existing passion, let's say starting to study nutrition or health or veterinarian science and things like that. Romantically, you're more practical and grounded at this time. You can be, helping your partner clean their car or bringing them tomatoes grown in your garden. It's like very Cancerian, but very practical, and feeling more appreciated, I think, at work as well, feeling more like empowered. If you early in the month, maybe you feel overwhelmed, but later in the month you're like, okay, I see why it was like that. I spoke my truth and I realized that, there is a reason, there's a meaning. If you need help dealing with the more frustrating part, I highly recommend my lunar candles, Almond Moon or Moon in Cancer 3. I also have oils for that. They can be very softening and relaxing. You can find them on my website. You can also register for my natal astrology course on there and book a personal reading. For lovely Pisces risings, Venus is entering your 5th house, the house of romance, pleasure, parenthood, and children. And this is very joyful. Venus, in fact, is in her joy in the 5th house, so she can encourage you to date, to connect with your talents and passions. You may pick up a guitar and start playing. You may go hiking more. You may schedule dates or go dating if you've been single, right? It's like really good for manifesting pleasure in your life. However, at first, between July 30th and August 4th, Venus is squaring Saturn and Neptune in your 2nd house of money and values. And so you're dealing with the heaviness related to finances. Maybe you are ready to get a piano, but you don't have enough money to get a piano. So a compromise perhaps is in order. You can get a keyboard, right? Or you can take, instead of like signing up for a year worth of classes, piano classes, you can sign up for like a month worth of classes, or one at a time. So some kind of compromises involving finances. Maybe, you're dreaming about going on vacation with your partner, but perhaps you have to be like, okay, let's hold off on that, not yet. When Venus conjoins Jupiter on August 12th, later in the month, between like August 12th and August 25th, when she's in Cancer, she's a lot more free, a lot more benevolent, and way less restricted by Saturn. So expect more romance, expect more pleasure. For those of you trying to conceive, have a baby, become pregnant, this is like the month for that, for sure, especially in the middle of the month. Really good time. And yeah, set your sights on what you want to manifest, what's important to you. Jupiter is your chart ruler. It's in the 5th house. Venus is going there, and your good luck is magnified, especially at that middle of the month point. So enjoy. For more help, highly recommend Lunar Jupiter or Jupiter Cazimi. Both of these highlight your 5th house and bring good luck. You can find these on my website. You can also book a reading on there or register for my magical natal astrology course to discover your soul's purpose and learn to read natal charts. Thank you for watching. Thank you for following me and leaving likes, comments. I hope you're enjoying this. I hope you're enjoying Jupiter in Cancer. If you have anything to share, if you're seeing the goodness and the benevolence, please let me know, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.